What's up, guys? I've got the first video Kanto Cup. Remember, Kanto Cup is unrated, so let's just try to have some fun. Here we have a team with Beedrill, Snorlax, and Alolan Graveler. First of all, as always, huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. We're nearing the end of Season 7. You guys have been with me. Well, some of you have been with me this whole time, and I appreciate the support so much. But let's get right into this gameplay video and talk a little bit about this team. We've got Beedrill, Snorlax, and Alolan Graveler. If you don't have a Graveler, you can use a Golem too. They're pretty much the same Pokemon. It is what it is. They have the same possible moveset too. The reason I'm using Graveler is because I don't want to spend some TMs. My Golem has Wild Charge right now, and I think in Kanto Cup you probably want Stone Edge. That huge nuke has definitely come in handy, as you'll see in a lot of these games. So let's take a look at the team. It's your classic ABB team, right? Switching the Snorlax, bait out the Machamp, and then go ham with the Graveler. And honestly, there's a lot of Graveler sweeps here with still 2 Pokemon remaining. I believe even this first game we're gonna see one. Although this is a bit of a meme team. Huge props to my opponent for running triple evolution. Yeah, so we've got Beedrill in the lead. Beedrill, honestly, I think is maybe one of the best Pokemon in Kanto Cup as well. Everything that beats it, so just the fire types, pretty much. And Hypno, it can hit back with super effective damage. So even if you lose the lead, you can come back in with a farm and really flip that matchup. And you're going to see that a lot in these games as well. Snorlax, very, very nice to have for the Lickitung matchup as well. Main reason I'm not using Lickitung myself instead of Snorlax is for you guys, because I know I would get a couple of complaints about how you don't have Lickitungs or asking for replacements. I honestly think Snorlax, after using it, I think it might be as good just because of all the Lickitung swap-ins I am seeing. But if you're not seeing Lickitung swap-ins, then, well, don't run the Lax, I don't think. Run your own Lickitung instead. If you don't have Lickitung, obviously run the Lax. So let's take a look at these games. We have the Alolan Ninetales lead. They swap into Lapras, and we're going to swap right into Graveler. So this is how this matchup goes. We're going to shield the Surf because it hurts quite a bit. Shadow Lapras. We're going to throw one more and throw this Rock Blast, which will be enough to KO from this range. They shield, but we've got another, right? So charge up to 2 Rock Blasts. We're going to take switch advantage here with half health remaining. They're going to come back in with Ninetales. At this point, I just want to get that Rock Blast off, but they're going to throw. So no point shielding here. We're going to come right back in with Beedrill. And they're going to come in with Blastoise. So Snorlax versus Blastoise, a pretty neutral matchup. In this case, I'm not even sure I want to win this matchup. I just want to deal some heavy damage to this Blastoise and make sure it ends this matchup with no energy. If I win this matchup, that's also fine as long as my Snorlax is healthy enough. So we're going to try and throw right away. Unfortunately, because I swapped a little bit slow, they're going to outpace me to the second Hydro Cannon as well. That's okay. We're going to let that go down, and we're going to be able to farm down Blastoise before it's able to get to a move. So now 2 drill runs. Even though it's not super effective damage like the poison jabs, it's going to be enough in addition to these poison jabs to take down this Alolan Ninetales before it gets to 2 moves. So yeah, Beedrill is kind of carrying at the end, but it is what it is. Yeah, if you notice, the IVs on my Pokemon, besides the Beedrill, which is a rank 1, they're not very good. So IVs not really depend. This team is not really dependent on IVs. I know another question will be, does Shadow Beedrill work? Yes, Shadow Beedrill will work. I think it's better. It's just very expensive to make, and I've already made this regular Beedrill. So they swap into Alolan Graveler. This is one of the harder swaps to deal with this team. I decided no shield the first one because I don't know, people were baiting a lot on that day. And I'm going to go back with a bait of my own. There's no reason for me to bait here in the mind of my opponent, but I do anyways. So we're going to go for that superpower and take both shields down. At this point, it's a bit of a tricky situation, but a lot of these Graveler swap-ins, they come with a Golem in the back. So the play here is to get the shields down on the Graveler swap-in with Snorlax. Like, spend a shield if you have to, that's fine. But the goal here is to be able to get shields down while preserving a shield for yourself so that Beedrill can land a drill run on the Alolan Golem. So we'll switch back into this Beedrill regardless of what it is. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Golem. And we just have to get to this drill run, throw in the middle of their move. And we're going to be able to take... It's a one-shot, right? This is double super effective. They're going to come back in their Wiggly, and this is not a winning matchup at all for Wigglytuff. Especially not with a shield remaining. gonna be able to win this as well. Yep. There's a lot of charm leads that I've been seeing, at least with Wiggly and A9 being the two most common, but Beedrill really does a number on them. And it also deals with Venusaur and Victreebel really well. This is something it doesn't deal well with. My opponent actually it looks like they lag, but they don't. It's a very good play. They don't want to reveal their fast move on Marowak. They don't want to let me know if it's Hex or Fire Spin. So very well played by my opponent. I didn't expect them to have the Legacy Cross Chop Primate, but they did. So we're going to come back in with Beedrill. Fortunately, we're not going to make it in time, but I can't be affording to spend a shield on Beedrill here when I know it's locked into quite a bad matchup. My opponent decides to wait the timer a little bit, which is good for me. And yes, so this is why they were hiding, or they weren't attacking at the beginning. They were hiding Hex on their Marowak, which is honestly way harder for Graveler to deal with. So I'm going to shield a Shadow Bone. So they are running Shadow Bone Fire Blast, which is a little bit better. And they're going to come in with Muk. And because they come in with Muk, I know that they're kind of just sacrificing it to get me to use energy. So I know they're not going to shield. So we're going to throw that Stone Edge right away. I'm going to decide to shield the Dark Pulse because I believe it deals more than the Shadow Bone. Just by a little bit. And we're at 2 Rock Blasts. So I just want to land 1 on this Marowak. They actually call the bait, which is incredible. But we're going to keep putting the pressure on with these Rock Blasts. And I switch to absorb some energy on my Beedrill so that my Alolan Graveler can farm down. So yeah, Beedrill versus Marowak is not good, right? But you can switch out, switch back in, get a couple drill runs, get shields down, stuff like that. It's not that bad of a matchup at all. This next game, we're going to see a Dragonair lead. This is really, honestly, pretty bad for the team. I played this a couple different ways. This is the first time I'm seeing the Dragonair lead. I stay in, go for the X-Scissor. I throw X-Scissor because why not? They might shield. And if they don't, it's still stab. It's still not as powerful as drill run, but it's not bad. And they're going to swap into their AWAG. I'm going to do instant swap to my Graveler, and this might have been a little bit of a mistake. Alolan Marowak at full HP is tough, a bit tougher Snorlax, but it can't really threaten Snorlax at all. And unfortunately, we CMP tie here because I did not count correctly. Because I thought I was counting for Shadow Bone, but Bone Club is the thing that really threatens here. But we're able to take down this Marowak, and we have 100 energy coming out of it. So spending a shield for 100 energy is pretty worth it, especially when what's coming back in is a Dragonair. And they're going to have to spend 2 shields to save it. So we're going to come with the Snorlax. Oh, I shield this. I remember this too. I completely forgot how much energy they had. They were dry because they threw an Aqua Tail on my Beedrill. I forgot about that. Thought it could be a Dragon Pulse instead. I'm going to get outplayed a little bit here. And in comes Ninetales, which is a little bit of a tough situation. We've got the Beedrill, we've got the Graveler. And I don't think Snorlax is going to be able to do this by himself. Already a little bit damaged, but he does need to get, oh yeah, he doesn't quite get to the Body Slam either, right? So a little bit of a tricky situation. Hopefully, because they threw their energy though, Graveler can get to their move before Ninetales gets to theirs, and I believe Graveler does by just 1 turn. And we're able to get the Rock Blast off there. So 1 HP in a Dream. Obviously, Beedrill is just going to get one shot by that Fire Spin, so it wasn't an option other than a catch. But you can't really catch moves with a 4-turn move. So 5-0 to start this off. Not my first set with this team. I did have a little bit of practice with it first. I feel like this was my 3rd set. Oh yeah, and this bug is really annoying, but it is what it is. We have a Wigglytuff into Lickitung. I think this is the first time I saw Lickitung matchup. I switch faster now. And I think we'll see that in some of these games. The Lickitung swap in is pretty important to keep switch advantage for you. Just because in this case we have Beedrill lined up against the Wigglytuff. But if I can get shields down as well, that's also fine. Because Graveler is fine against Wigglytuff as long as you can just land those Stone Edges. So we're just going to go straight for these superpowers. We're going to let one... So what's important is I let Body Slams in first. And then I let only one Body Slam in once... I let one Body Slam in once only one superpower has been thrown, and I charge back up again. So you can tank 3 Body Slams in that way. And if you look at the shields now, it's a pretty good scenario for me, right? I have 2 shields. I call the body slam bait because I'm a Lickitung player. I know someone's got 2 shields up. I'm probably gonna be trying to throw that bait. I don't call the next one, so I do have to throw this right away. I'm still not very good at counting licks. I probably could have overfarmed a little bit more, but I know this Wiggly's coming back in. We're gonna throw the Stone Edge, absolutely chunk it, and then go in with our Beedrill. And this is what I'm saying. So Alolan Marowak comes in. 2 drill runs is enough to take out Alolan Marowak. So because of all the energy that I gained at the beginning from swapping slow, I'm able to get to 2 drill runs before this guy's even able to get to a single move and take out this Alolan Marowak. And obviously Beedrill versus Wigglytuff. The rest is history. Yeah, very happy to get to use Beedrill again. I think this is maybe the best possible meta for Beedrill. The original 150 plus the Alolans. Because it's, I don't know, it just feels so good in this meta. So yeah, once again, we have an Alolan Muk lead into a Lickitung. This time I'm going to swap a little bit faster. And we're going to see how this plays out. So because they're ahead of me in energy, they have to throw first, which is great. So I'm going to take 1 body slam. I'm going to keep licking. And as I approach 100 energy, I'm going to throw a superpower. And yeah, they waited for me. So very good play by them. I can tank this body slam, but I probably won't be able to take another. But that's fine, right? I'm fine to blow a shield here if it means that I can get to 2 superpowers and force 2 more shields. So throwing superpower early, or once you're at this health, doesn't matter, right? Because the licks aren't going to be what takes you down, and 1 body slam already takes you down. So I could have thrown the superpower even a little bit earlier, but I wanted a little bit of extra farm. Here we come with Machamp. Machamp didn't get too much energy off of Snorlax because it was quite debuffed, and I'm going to get shields back, spamming X Scissors on this Machamp. I'm going to call the bait incorrectly. People were baiting a lot. I swear people were baiting a lot. So unfortunately my Beedrill goes down, but this is the power of Alolan Graveler with shields. This is the absolute power of it. We throw the Stone Edge, so they call my bait incorrectly. We're going to shield this up, and Graveler's going to be able to farm down this... it's Muk, and going to be able to take out the Machamp there. I think there's a little bit of a bug that helped me win. Their Machamp took a volt switch of damage when he was trying to catch that damage on Muk, but I think he lagged a turn, so the damage actually went on Machamp instead. Alright, here we have Ninetales lead. Counter swap into Shadow Venusaur. I throw a little bit late, which is a mistake. I have no idea how much damage this does, and it does quite a bit. Yeah, so you don't want to be tanking a Frenzy Plant from Shadow Venusaur. You probably want to play the 1 shield instead, because now this Venusaur has a full move ready to go. Obviously, you're going to come back on the Beedrill, this one, and tank the move. It's not too big of a deal in this case because my Beedrill is also kind of locked in against this Ninetales. But we do have to go back into this Graveler as soon as we can. I just really hope that they have no answer for this, the 2 shield. I'm going to tank a Weather Ball, even though it's quite scary. And it's a Galarian Rapidash, My Little Pony. But I kind of thought that they would have more fast move pressure, given that they were throwing just a Weather Ball at me. But they're going to throw a Body Slam. And I no-shielded it because I was sure it was a Body Slam. But holy crap, that Body Slam does a lot of damage. Galarian Rapidash is actually way tankier than I thought. And these Psycho Cuts are starting to add up. But they decide to let it go down. I'm okay with that too. In this case, we're going to get the Rock Blast off on the Ninetales. And we're barely going to get to that next Rock Blast. And this should almost KO. So we're going to shield here. Shield the Beedrill. Like, impressive that they managed to throw when I switched to catch the Beedrill out. But because if I didn't have a shield up, would have been a game-winning play for sure. I believe that's 9 games, or 8 games, or 9 games in a row here. Here with the Shadow Venusaur lead. This is what you love to see with the Beedrill. And once again, this switch-in is pretty tricky. But because the Graveler switch-in usually comes with a Golem, the goal here is to just get shields down. We're going to shield the Stone Edge this time. People have stopped baiting, so I'm going to start shielding. I get a little bit greedy. Tank that Stone Edge. There's no way I'm making it to Body Slam Superpower, so we're just gonna hope they can't count licks, which is correct most of the time, and throw double Body Slam here. Because why would I shield and then not throw a superpower, right? It's a psychology thing. So we're gonna come in with our own Alolan Graveler. You've seen this before. Gonna no shield. Rock does not resist rock. Stone Edge will absolutely chunk if they throw it. But it is what it is. And I really should have thrown my energy. But I cannot afford my Graveler to go down at this point in the game. He still has some work to do. He's got to take out that Graveler of his own. And now with shields down, this is a pretty tricky situation. So my Beedrill has a little bit of energy. And I didn't throw at the correct time, so Jason could have caught. But the thing is, I wasn't sure if he got an invisible Volt Switch throw on the switch, in which case I would lose. I throw the X Scissor over Drill Run here because I'm not sure of the damage, and I know I'll outpace them to 2 moves, which is what they'll need to take me out. So yeah, X Scissor doesn't quite do enough. I don't know if Drill Run would have done enough. It's tough to know, but the second X Scissor is for sure going to do enough. We're going to pick up this win as well against the double Rock Boy team. Oh, so it wasn't, yep. Never mind, bit of a spoiler here. All right, Beedrill versus Lapras. We're gonna switch out right away. We've got 2 pretty good answers for Lapras, and we need to get this Machamp out of the way, so pretty hard counter on the swap here, but Snorlax, yeah, see, I do like when they don't shield here, because you can actually look down. They don't throw. So if they don't shield, Snorlax is strong enough to actually pressure Machamp, whereas I think Lickitung's Body Slam doesn't do nearly enough. They have to throw their energy, of course, because Lickitung is so tanky, but so Lapras comes back in. We have the better counter this time. We're going to come in with Graveler. And I'm actually going to try and make a catch here. This is the only time you can make a catch with a 4-turn versus 3-turn move, is if you can throw their 3 away from 3 moves away from their next charge move. You can throw 2 of your moves and switch out. So that's what I do right there. And we're going to get our 10th win in a row. But winning is all fun and it's all fun in games to see wins, right? But this is Kanto Cup. It's not rated, and that's next set there won't be so many wins. So let's take a look at some adversity. We need to show some losses too to see what this team actually struggles with, right? You're not just gonna win 10 games in a row every time. Then then it would be more than 10 games. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Anyways, Snorlax lead. I don't know what I'm doing against Snorlax lead. It's the first time I've ever seen it, so I stay in. Turns out Beedrill's actually pretty good against Snorlax lead. You see me try and switch there? I should not. I'm glad that I could not switch in this case, because Beedrill actually beats Snorlax in the 2 shields with a pretty significant amount of health and energy. So they're going to switch into their own Beedrill, which is a little bit of an issue because I have no shields on my Alolan Graveler. So while I would love to switch into the Alolan Graveler, take down this Beedrill, I no longer can. Instead, I'm going to have to go to my Snorlax. Yeah, Shadow Beedrill hurts. Look at that Drill Run. That's a ton of damage. And they're going to come in with Nidoqueen. So, very spicy team. I love the double Poison Jab. And I think it was all Shadow, too. So, all Shadow, double Poison Jab team. Going to barely get to this next Body Slam. The problem is Nidoqueen is very powerful with shields down. Charge moves chunk pretty much anything. And Shadow Nidoqueen is even more so. In this case, I decided to sacrifice my Graveler, as I feel I need my Beedrill to be able to outpace this Nidoqueen to a move. So throw the X's right away, and in comes the Snorlax, and it's a tie game. So, I mean, we still haven't seen a loss, but that's some adversity right there. If you go shields down and they have a ground move, you're gonna lose, or tie, I guess. Burnibus. Next battle, I'm going to throw 1 Poison Jab and switch out. Just start getting that energy on my Beedrill. He tries to catch the Body Slam there on the Lapras, but I'm not going to have any of it. I'm going to go straight Superpower here. At least get some shields. And I don't care if Lapras takes me out with a move here at this point. Snorlax has done his job, gotten a shield, dealt quite a bit of damage to Lapras. It's going to allow Alolan Graveler to farm down that electric damage and transfer that electric damage into... Wait, what the heck am I doing? Oh, makes sense. I couldn't lose my my only Hypno counter. So we're gonna come in with the Beedrill, and I'm gonna try and farm down. Like I said earlier, Beedrill is all about farm downs and getting that energy so you can hit back your counter super effectively. And there we go. I've got 2 full X scissors. I know the Hypno's coming back in, so I'm gonna throw 1 more poison jab. An X scissor. No, I won't, because he throws right away. Very smart play, realizing what I'm trying to do. So I throw 1 poison jab and an X scissor now. You're gonna swap out to Graveler to catch the confusion damage, and they swap out right away. They know it's coming. Burnibus is a good player. He knows exactly what I'm trying to do here. And unfortunately, this is another Beedrill counter. But Beedrill kind of has nowhere to go. I do need to get this Rock Blast off though. And over tap, which is super unfortunate. Throw the Drill Run. And it's not quite enough to take out the Alolan Marowak, so we're going to tie as well, except he still has a Pokemon, so we're going to lose. It is what it is. That's a tough game for Beedrill, and even though it was very hard countered in pretty much every position, it still did quite a bit of damage in that game. Once again, a Shadow Hypno lead. Let's see if we can play this a little bit better. And what's with everyone trying to catch these Body Slams? They catch this Body Slam, but it's not a Ninetales, so this is okay for me. I love taking that resisted, sorry, not that resisted, that neutral Hypno damage, rather than have it be super effective on my Beedrill. So I CMP tie here. That's the only reason I shield. If I didn't CMP tie, I would never shield this because they're at 2 moves, essentially. So it would just throw the next one, and I would lose my shield for nothing. But I want to force shields down here, right? They've got a Hypno lead. I don't want my Beedrill to be useless against this Hypno. So when shields are down, Beedrill has a much better matchup. They're going to get to a Psyshock here, I think. They have a lot of energy, and it's going to hurt. But I cannot afford to spend shields here when this Hypno already has some energy built up. And in comes Blastoise. So we're going to throw this Stone Edge and swap pretty immediately. And they know that too. They're going to swap right away as well. In this case, I do need to spend a shield. I go for throwing at the same time and fast move to now, because I know if I don't, they're going to beat me to the punch. Or, I guess not. They had more energy than I thought. But Beedrill tanks the Thunder Punch like a champ. Is almost able to take down the Hypno, which is even better here. We wanted to soft loose the Hypno for that extra Volt Switch. And we're going to be able to get this Rock Blast off on this Blastoise and win this one. So Shadow Hypno lead. No big deal here for Beedrill. Able to deal a ton of damage into it. And turn that scenario into a soft loss, despite the energy advantage from Hypno at the beginning. This is not the charge moves that hurt, right? Shadow Snorlax. I learned from my first game, I'm going to stay in. I let them throw first, because if I shield, they're more likely to. But I also realize if I throw Drill Run first, because that's, if they're not going to shield, they're going to no-shield the first one. So throw Drill Run first, you still outpace them to the next moves. If you throw X Scissors after that, if they shield. So that's fine. I'm going to swap and catch on my own Snorlax. Would have been very, very risky play right there. Going to try and farm all the way down. What am I doing? But there's no reason for them to bait at this point. They throw the Super Power and switch out to Lickitung. So a Licker swaps into a Licker. Is this some sort of AB or AAB team, or is it a triple Lick team? We'll find out. Unfortunately, triple Lick would be extremely good versus this team. It just outbulks everything. I don't even know what the third Licker would be. Probably Gengar or Muk or something. But Lickitung is going to be able to take out my Snorlax. I'm going to come in with the Graveler, I believe. Try and get some farm. But Graveler has to be really scared of this Power Whip. So I switch and try and throw my move, but I overtap, throw a Stone or a Poison Jab. It's very frustrating because this Drill Run would have come in extremely handy versus this Alolan Marowak, forcing a shield out from it. And now, because I wasn't able to force the shield, I'm not able to KO this Marowak when I come in with the Rock Blast. And it's kind of just over from here. Yeah, very frustrating sometimes. I need to work at, I don't know how some players are very good at coming in on, like if I switch into a Pokemon, I almost always overtap. And there's Doesn't seem to be anything that I can do about that without really slowing the game down and allowing a free move in. Whereas I don't get that same thing when my Pokemon faints, so I'm not really sure how to deal with that. Dragonair, I'm starting to play this differently. We're going to switch right away, even though Graveler has not a great matchup versus it. If you can get a farm down on something and you have a little bit of energy, it's not too bad versus Dragonair overall. So we're going to have Electrode come in. Pretty interesting switch, and I think it's the first time I've seen Electrode. I'm going to let my Snorlax go down. He got the shield, and he's going to get another Body Slam off, barely living that discharge. And at this point, Beedrill probably only needs an X-Scissor, but I'm really debating which Pokemon to come back in with here. I decided to come in with the Graveler because I'm going to resist these Volt Switches. And be able to deal neutral damage with these Rock Blasts. And that's with Stab, and they have... they have Foul Play, but Foul Play is not Stab, so it doesn't do very much damage. They're going to come back with their Dragonair, of course. I throw a Rock Blast, which they no-shield, despite the fact that it could be a Stone Edge. And they're going to come in with their Alolan Golem at the end. So, like I said, this matchup is only good if Alolan Golem has as many shields as Beedrill does. And in this case, 2 is... Well, in all cases, 2 is more than 1. But we're going to shield up these Rock Blasts. Throw one more Poison Jab and throw this Drill Run. Didn't want to chance it. I probably could have overfarmed more, but I do have some severe issues counting. Or remembering the counts for Golem and Graveler, because they alternate going up and down. So I didn't want to trust myself on that. But here we are. I think it's a very neutral set. That's right, it is a 2-2-1, the fabled neutral set, 0 rating gain or loss, and not just because of Kanto Cup. But that's it. This is the team. Love using Beedrill, honestly. One of my favorite Pokemon to use, and it really shines in some of these limited metas, like Halloween Cup before, and now obviously now Kanto Cup, and it feels like we're gonna get Kanto Cup every season now at the end. So Beedrill, not too bad of an investment. A lot of fun to play with. But yeah, that's it for the video. As always, put my socials in the description, and thank you guys for watching.